How do you stay the course, fulfill your assignment when you and the world around you are out of alignment? I love that because the concept of alignment is real clear. It happens. We're in Atlanta. It's not lost on me that a few months ago there was the Peachtree Marathon. And during the Peachtree Marathon, the defending champion was leading the race. And toward the end of the race, the defending champion somehow veered off course. And before you know it, she made a wrong turn. And because she made a wrong turn, even though she was in the lead at one point, she ended up losing the race because something within her, she later testified, was out of alignment. Of course, when you think alignment, you think of driving a car. And when your car is out of alignment, then of course you will veer in directions that you do not intend on going. This defending champion lost the race not because she lacked the skill, not because she did not have vision, not because she did not have strength, but she did not stay on course. She did not fulfill her assignment because there was something out of alignment. I'm still not coming through, but I'm suggesting to begin with that oftentimes we do not know our assignment. We do not stay on course because there is something within us that causes us to get in the way of us. That's good right there. Something within us that causes us to get in the way of us. Therefore, we must always check our interior environment lest we wreck ourselves. And so if you are not in alignment internally, it will show up externally where you cannot stay on course. You cannot fulfill your assignment. Well, you did not get that one. Let me give you one more. This, I think, will bless you. I read this. It blew my mind. Several years ago, ornithologists had made up their mind to study a particular bird. It's called a whimbrel. The whimbrel, every single fall around this time, it begins to fly and go from the northeast shore of Canada all the way down to St. Croix, where it will bask in the beauty of the summer on that Caribbean island. Check it out. About a decade ago, the whimbrel, a small bird, began its flight. It took flight and began to soar in the sky, keep company in the clouds. It's on its way south when all of a sudden a weather system intercepted the itinerary of this small bird. Don't miss it. The bird has a vision within itself. There is a vision. It also has the skills and gifts to get from where it was to where it desires to go. But hold on the way to where it intended to go, a weather system that became an unexpected, unseasonal hurricane intercepted the itinerary of this small bird. The bird is making its way when all of a sudden the bird is hit by the headwinds of a hurricane. At that moment, check out what happened. The ornithologist that had placed a small tracking device on the back of the bird discovered that the bird was lost to them. They lost contact with the bird. The bird, here it is, on its way to its desired destination, determined, here it is, to stay on course, but somehow a weather system, something that was beyond its control, unexpectedly popped up, and now that bird has been thrown off course. I'll see if I can make it plain, because the metaphors are speaking profoundly to each and every one of us if we just grab it. Here it is. You're flying, soaring, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden something beyond your control leaves your life spinning out of control. Wait, I'm not even done. Something bigger than you overwhelms you. Life starts lifing, and when life starts lifing, if you're not careful, it will be difficult to stay on course and fulfill your assignment. Hold on, I've got to go back and grab you one more time, because what really blows my mind is that this small bird bird was hit not only by what was unexpected, not only did this bird all of a sudden, because of the hurricane that came out of nowhere, but it was what meteorologists called a weather system. Don't miss it, a system. That's what they called it. Here we have gathered in Atlanta, and as we gather in Atlanta with the mission that we have been assigned and determined to go back and not just do good but do well, not just do well but do good. One of the things that we have to be honest about is that every now and then we come up against systems that somehow are determined to undermine what it is we are trying to overcome. I didn't come through clear, even though that was real good. I'm trying to let you know that systems are designed with outcomes in mind. Always remember, there are systems designed with outcomes in mind. Marcia Griffin and her crew evidently are poetic and prophetic and even in touch providentially, because do you not find it ironic, no, poetically providential, that we are meeting in the ATL? We are meeting in Atlanta. Y'all didn't get it. This is the birthplace of the drum major for justice, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee, in honor of his life and legacy and what he was fighting for. You do know, within a small amount of time in the aftermath of his assassination, housing legislation became law. The housing bill was passed. Y'all still not getting your shout on. I'll see if I can help you. In a real sense, Martin Luther King Jr. died fighting a system that precluded equitable housing opportunities for all persons in this country. And here we are in Atlanta, the birthplace of the drum major for justice, and it is not accidental that what we are about as a movement is doing all that we can to ensure equitable opportunities when it comes to building wealth, when at the root of that in this nation, of course, is what? Housing. But don't forget, the sad reality is that there are systems oftentimes in place that are diabolically designed to preclude the possibilities of those who are determined to get a head start and somehow a leg up and get financed for housing. Y'all not believing me? Let me see if I can make it real plain. ProPublica came out with a study earlier this year, and the study revealed that we live in a nation, watch the weather system, I'm flying, trying to reach my destination of buying a home, of building wealth, and yet a system is in place that somehow you can be white without a college degree, and if you're black with a college degree and have comparable credit scores, there's something about the system that will allow the white person to get the mortgage and the black person not to get the mortgage. Wait, what's up with that? I'm simply trying to say there is something in the system, because systems are always created to produce outcomes, and the stats are facts that remind all of us that there is still in place in this country a system that is based on race. And so here we are in the city of Martin Luther King Jr. died, housing bill was passed, and dare we not come here and not be conscious of the reality that we are often dealing with systems that are designed to cause us to get out of alignment, and when we're out of alignment, the question becomes, how do we fulfill our assignment? Well, the good news is we've come to the ATL, drum major not by Martin but by Marcia, and I believe there is a word that we have that simply says, if we understand our assignment and we are in alignment, we can stay on course. You better say it, Freddie Haynes. I just did. I'm trying to let you know it's important that you understand the assignment. I love love this, Marcia, because you do recognize that in the culture, in hip-hop culture, every now and then they will say about someone, she understood the assignment. I guess I ain't got no culture folk in here. She understood the assignment. When I walked in and saw Marcia dressed all fly, dressed to the nines, as they would say, all I could do was say, Marcia understood the assignment. My wife walked in dressed in red, and the girl is fine, and when she walked in dressed in red, all I could say was she understood the assignment. Now, what does that mean in the culture? In the culture, it means you recognize where you are going and what you need to do to get from where you are to where you are going, and your determination is to look good in the process on your way to where you are going, and other folk will look at you and conclude you understood the assignment. So thank you, Marcia, because you basically have assembled us in Atlanta to recognize we better understand the assignment, and if we understand the assignment, we've got the power to stay on course. What does that look like? I'm almost done. When you stay on course because you understand the assignment, I believe, first of all, it's because you have a profound sense of mission, a profound sense of purpose. Was it Nietzsche who declared that in this life, that if you discover your why for living, you can handle almost anyhow? And in the midst, please don't miss this, of that which is often designed to throw you off course, you better make sure that you are embedded with a strong sense of mission, a strong sense of purpose. Listen, it's not about just having a job. It's about finding meaning and mission in that job. It's not about just going to work. It's about having a sense of call, that you are doing something that is bigger than you, that's going to impact the world around you. You've got to have a profound sense of mission, because I promise you, life will throw you off. Y'all know it's the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, so I got to go a little hip-hop on you. And life will throw you off so much that that Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five put it like this: it's like a jungle. Sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle. Sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. And then Grandmaster said, don't push me, because I'm close to the... Y'all know something about hip-hop, don't you? I'm trying to let you know that life will throw you off. It's like a jungle. Sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. But watch this. If I have a sense of mission, a sense that God, the Creator, has sent me to this planet with a purpose, and within that purpose, every now and then I'm hooked up with a job. That job, watch this, is financing my mission. That God helps me to get from where I am to where I'm trying to go, knowing my purpose is always bigger than me. It's not just about me, it's about impacting the world around me, because I am living every day on purpose. I have a mission to accomplish. I'm not coming through like I need to. Listen, a movie came out, I think it was during the height of the pandemic, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and the movie, watch this, it's that Bad Boys sequel, and in the Bad Boys sequel, you'll discover that they had a movie called Bad Boys for Life. Well, Will Smith's character, Mike Lowry, gets shot. When Mike Lowry gets shot, Mike Lowry almost dies. But somehow Mike Lowry survives, makes a comeback. And when he makes a comeback, Mike Lowry is just going here, there, everywhere, just off. No real sense of alignment. He's forgotten his assignment because he is bent on getting revenge, finding the one that killed him. And one day the captain sits him down, and the captain tells him this Buddhist story. It's so profound, I had to download it on my mental computer, and now I'm going to oratorically print y'all a copy. He tells the story about a man who was riding on a horse, and the horse was going this way, and suddenly it darted that way, and then this way, and then that way, and this way, that way. So finally, someone yelled, "Hey, Where are you going? He responds, I don't know. Ask the horse. Mike Lowry is a little confused. Why are you telling me this story, Captain? The captain says that horse symbolizes our traumas, anxieties, and fears. And in many instances, we are being carried here, there, and everywhere, being driven not by purpose or mission, not by a sense of assignment, but we are being driven by our trauma, our fears, our anxieties. I don't know who you are, but you know you in the house. And if you're not careful, you will be out of alignment, unable to fulfill your assignment because you have not honestly processed your own trauma. You have not dealt with your fears. You have not dealt with your anxieties. And you're wondering why you're going here, there, and everywhere. Could it be that you have not dealt with that trauma? You have not dealt with that fear. I'm still not coming through. Here's the good news. The good news is that somehow, some way, it is what we go through that gives us the power for our Creator to accomplish through us what we have been sent here to do. Never, ever discount the bad stuff that you've been through. Never, ever underestimate the value of the trials and troubles that you've been through. I think Langston Hughes, when he embodies a mother in the poem Mother to Son, is trying to make this clear, because listen to what this mother says to her son with ungrammatical profundity, looking back in her rearview mirror over what she has been through. Now she can help guide her son. Well, son, I tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, splinters, boards torn up, places with no carpet on the floor bare. But all the while I've been a climbing on, reaching landings, turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you quit now. Don't you sit down on them steps because you find it's kind of hard. I still climbing. I still going. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Y'all didn't get it. What she was saying is, I don't want you quitting because I did not quit. I did not quit because life was easy. I kept on going anyhow. And because of her testimony from the test that she had overcome, she's able to turn around and inspire her son to keep on going anyhow. Here it is. I'm letting you know that somehow we are able to fulfill our assignment and stay on course because we advance through adversity. Somehow we are able to build our strength in spite of the burdens that we carry. Somehow we are able to move forward in the face of headwinds because it's the headwinds that give us strength that we didn't even know that we had. So even a crisis, watch this, becomes a cradle for your creativity. That was good right there. A crisis becomes the cradle for your creativity. I'll make it real plain. DJ D Nice. Anybody heard of DJ D Nice? Do y'all know that DJ D Nice earlier this year played Carnegie Hall? Y'all didn't shout. DJ D Nice, hip hop DJ, he played Carnegie Hall, New York. He said, I never would have dreamt growing up as a boy in love with hip hop, DJing parties, that one day a hall I used to look at and say, I'll never get in there. I can't afford it. But no, not only can I afford it now, but now I'm in here, and I'm in here playing Carnegie Hall. Now here's the shout. The shout is DJ D Nice played Carnegie Hall because of what he did during a pandemic. A pandemic. DJ D Nice, I guess y'all don't know. Let me hip y'all to DJ. Y'all get out a little bit more, okay? During the pandemic, when we were, what? Quarantined, having to stay in, DJ D Nice got on Instagram, and there on social media, he began just to jam. Hip-hop, old school R&B, just jamming. And before you know it, Oprah is tuned in. Michelle Obama is tuned in. Barack Obama tuned in. Taylor Swift tuned in. The Queen Bee, Beyonce, tuned in. Y'all, everybody is tuning in during a pandemic because DJ D Nice, during a pandemic, throws a party. And when he throws a party, watch this, the whole world begins to party with him. People who were down, discouraged, depressed, isolated. He created a community during a pandemic because there's something about adversity that somehow can tap your creativity, and you will fulfill a possibility you wouldn't have been able to fulfill had you not been through that adversity. So don't you give up. That's when you look up, and when you look up, you'll have the strength to get up, and once you get up, you'll get up stronger, more creative, and accomplish something you wouldn't have accomplished had you not been knocked down. I'm trying to say you can stay on course if you recognize your mission. And when you recognize your mission, here's what I love. Your mission says even that which is bad can be transportation to get me to what's good. Well, I got to keep going. I thought that was pretty good right there. But it's not just your mission. It's also, your mindset. I think I heard Queen Marcia say that. It's about mentality. It's not your effervescent personality, but your mentality that shapes your reality and sets the stage for your possibility. I just made that up on the fly. That was kind of good. I'm trying to let you know it's about your mindset. I think there's an African proverb that puts it this way. It says that if you grab a snake by its head, its body becomes rope. You didn't get it. If you lose the battle for your mind, you will live life lost. There is a battle for your mind. Every single day, narratives, propaganda hits you. It's designed to win the battle for your mind. And if you lose the battle for your mind, you will live life lost. And yet, the good news is that when you win the battle for your mind, when you have the right mindset, it sets you up for even greater things in this thing called life. You've got to win the battle for your mind. Reggie Jackson played baseball for the Oakland A's, and then he went from Oakland to the New York Yankees. And it's real funny. Reggie goes to the New York Yankees, and of course they won World Series. The A's had won World Series. And Reggie Jackson testifies that when he went to New York, people were tripping, and they said, "Oh man, you in New York now, you're going to become a star." Reggie says, "I didn't come to New York to become a star. I was already a star. I brought my star with me to enhance the galaxy that's around me." Y'all didn't get the mindset. He saw something within himself that says, "I'm already a star." Y'all didn't feel, Reggie, that takes you too far back. Well, one of my favorite shows is what? It's the show Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary, don't judge me, okay? I love Abbott Elementary. I'm glad the writer's strike is coming to an end. Hope the writers got paid because they deserve to get paid real good. And so Abbott Elementary has a principal by the name of Ava. Ava's something else, ain't she? Ava got Marcia all over her. I mean, Ava, because Ava, watch this. Ava comes to school every day dressed to the nines. I mean, the girl is fly and she's fashionable. But here's the thing. She ain't thinking about being a principal. She ain't thinking about education. She just comes to look good and make sure the school teachers and everyone else handles their business. And y'all, at the end of the last season, she said something that blessed me about mindset. I got to give it to you. It was so powerful. Watch this. Ava is listening to the lead character in the story whose name escapes me right now. And she testifies that she's about to go to Maryland for the holidays from Philly, going down to Maryland for the holidays to chill out. And when she chills out in Maryland, she'll be staying at a 3-star hotel. Well, Ava can't help but come back and clap back. And so Ava steps to her, overhears what is being said, and says, I only stay in 5-star hotels, but once I arrive, it becomes 6-star. Do you see the mindset? There's something powerful about your mind that says wherever you go, you upgrade it. Wherever you go, the atmosphere changes. Wherever you go, things are better. As a matter of fact, y'all know I'm a preacher, so I got to give you a little Bible. The Bible puts it like this. Paul in chapter 12, verse 2 of the book of Romans says, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I got a Freddie Haynes remix it for you. Paul is really saying, and don't allow the world to squeeze you into its mold and make you conform to its pattern, but instead be metamorphosized by the renovation of what's going on in your mind. Because once you are metamorphosized by the interior renovation of your mind, then you have the power to live in purpose. You have the power to live in assignment with your assignment, but it all starts with what's going on in your mind. No wonder, since y'all don't like the Bible, I'll go with an unknown poem. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. You like to win, but think you can. It's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself if you're going to win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. I hope you believe you can. I hope you see yourself as not just a 5-star, but 6-star, because it's all about your mindset. I think I've told you about mindset and mission. I got to close with being what? This is real good right here. I would say transformative, but I got to stick with what? The alliteration. So, metamorphic. Okay. Metamorphic. Metamorphosis. That's what a caterpillar goes through. The caterpillar is transformed by an experience of what it goes through. And that is really where I slow down to issue this challenge. We're in Atlanta, the home, the birthplace of Martin King Jr. Whatever else you want to say about him, he was transformative. You've come here, according to one Marcia Griffin, not just to do good, not just to do well, but to do some good. Do good. Do good. Do good. Be metamorphic. Transformative. You know who was transformative? Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, I'm watching during the summer the Quincy Jones documentary. I think it's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Quincy testifies, it's powerful, that back in the 40s or 50s, I can't remember which, he was playing Vegas with Frank Sinatra. The hotels in Vegas said that Quincy could not stay, though he could play, because he's black. The system said, you can't stay here, but you can play here. You can entertain us with your skills and talents, but you cannot stay and make yourself at home in this structure. Okay. You can play here and make us feel good, but you can't stay here and have equal access in this structure. Frank Sinatra found out. Frank Sinatra, I'm going to shout you, is already in the structure. He's in the hotel. He's got his room. And when Quincy called him and told him he had to leave and find a room, Frank comes downstairs. And when Frank gets downstairs, Frank says, if he can't stay here, I'm not staying here. If he can't stay here, we ain't playing here. If he can't stay here, then guess up, we're going to raise up out of here. Do y'all know they changed the policy on that hotel at that moment? Because someone with privilege, someone who was already on the inside said, I'm going to open up the door to bring other folk in and transform the policy of this hotel. Come here and let me grab somebody, because here we are in the ATL. And listen, I see y'all. We looking real good, ain't we? Because we're on the inside. We've got privilege, but there are too many people outside who do not have access to the privilege that we have. Once you're inside, it ain't about you. It's about you using what you've been blessed with to turn around and transform the system that you were in, to open up the door for others to come on in. That's what we've been called to do. We've been called to be transformative, to be metamorphic. That's our assignment. Stay the course. Wait. I see you looking at me. And you're saying, but I ain't Frank. How do I do that? We're in the city of Martin King. I got to quote Martin one more time. Martin King said, you have to ask yourself the question, are you going to be, this is going to shout you, a thermometer or a thermostat? A thermometer or a thermostat? He goes on to unpack. A thermometer, it registers the temperature. A thermostat regulates the temperature. A thermometer is controlled by the environment. A thermostat controls its environment. And we have come here to the ATL, and I dare say if we're going to come to this city, honor the legacy of Dr. King, fight for fair housing, fight for wealth and opportunity for all, we've got to make up our minds to be thermostats and not thermometers. How do you do it? Listen. I had to talk to a thermostat to find out how you do what you do. Checked into the room last night, got in the room, and there was a thermostat. I said, thermostat, what's up? I got to talk in the morning to Home Free, Reaching Millions conference, and we want to be transformative, metamorphic. Please tell me your secret. What differentiates you from a thermometer? Thermostat looked at me, and the thermostat, oh, y'all looking at me strange. Shakespeare said there are sermons in stones. Jesus said if these hold their peace, the rocks will cry out. So if Jesus says sermons can come from stones, and Shakespeare said that you can have a speech coming from that which is something which is inanimate, then surely we can get some teaching from a thermostat. So here's what the thermostat said. The thermostat said the only difference between me and a thermometer is a thermometer ain't connected to anything that releases its power. A thermometer lives life disconnected, and as long as you are living in disconnection, you will never have the power to be transformative. That's what I'm trying to say right here. We've come here to the Reaching Millions conference to get connected. You get connected to one another. Why? Because you can't do this thing by yourself. You've got to be connected to like-minded people who are trying to get where you're trying to go, connected to people who believe in you, connected to people who are on their way somewhere. You live in the power of connection, and when you're in connection, you release power that makes you thermostatic, but not only that, when you're connected to a higher power, whatever you want to call that power, call it God, call it Allah, call it whatever you want. I know who I call for myself, but I'm letting everybody know right now, when you're connected to a higher power, that power will give you the power to make a way out of no way, to speak truth to power, to transform systems, to transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. I see what's going on, and I love y'all so much for it. And I guess it's why y'all are reflecting, thinking, and saying, this is all good, but what about the little whimbrel bird that was flying and ran into a system? And y'all been sitting here my whole presentation, and you've been concerned about that bird, because your thing is that bird got thrown off by a system, and you're going to leave that bird lost in a weather system, lost, hit by a hurricane of headwinds. Is that how you're going to leave that poor little bird? Y'all know I'm not a preacher of unfinished business. I've got to finish that thing, because here's the good news. The good news is that all of a sudden the ornithologist picked up the bird, the signal on the tracking device of the bird, and when it picked up the signal, Deb, here is what happened. The bird had somehow flown into the headwinds, handled the headwinds, and reach, watch this, the eye, which is the calm part of the storm, and it kept on flapping. It kept on flapping until the next thing they knew, it was backed up by a tailwind. Listen, it was first hit by a headwind, but because it kept on flapping, it was able to get to the eye, and once it got to the eye, it kept on flapping, and before you know it, a tailwind pushed it, and it arrived in St. Croix much earlier than it would have arrived had it not run into a weather system called a hurricane. Y'all know I had to talk to that bird. I said, bird, what did you do when you got out of alignment? What did you do? The bird said, I remembered my assignment. I stayed on course because I kept on flapping. And that's what I came to the ATL to say. Y'all keep on flapping. Keep on flapping until all have opportunity. Keep on flapping until your dreams come true. Keep on flapping until your vision becomes reality. Keep on flapping and make sure you have the right mindset. Keep on flapping and don't forget your mission. Keep on flapping and be metaphoric. And if you flap, I promise you, you're going to be all right. I'm in Atlanta, so I might as well go with the old school of civil rights hymn. If you keep on flapping, we shall overcome. If you keep on flapping, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Y'all didn't like that? Well, let me give you Kendrick Lamar. All's my life I had to fight, but if God's got us, we're going to be all right. Keep on flapping.